Hey guys, so this morning I was just going to sit down and film a really quick like little tip video, which turned into a full-blown tutorial, which I think is good because it turned into like a lot of other, looking young with your makeup type secrets, things that you've heard me probably talk about a lot over the years, but it's like improved things and then a few brand new things. One in particular that kind of like started this whole idea for this video is a trick that will make your under eye concealer never crease, and it does not have anything to do with heavy powders. It's actually much less product, but you've still used, a really good concealer. That is what I struggle with the most. Like, I feel like my skin looks good. I feel like overall I look young and, and good. But I feel like throughout the day, if you look in the mirror and your makeup looks liney or it's settled, it just ruins the whole day effect, And, like I've said lately, I have been using products that I think have really changed my skin. I mean, go figure. I'm using things that are more targeted toward like my specific skin type. But what sucks is a lot of times when you want to do, like when you want to have more coverage or when you're kind of aiming toward, a certain type of skin, you may not be able to use some of these like really shiny, or not shiny, but like super glowy foundations, because unfortunately a lot of those are targeted towards certain skin types. Although I do think you can make pretty much anything work for you and last, I'm not talking about like a oily skin like setting issue, because I pretty much think you can apply anything, right? I'm talking about like if your skin's breakout prone, sometimes those things are just not good. And a lot of things that are targeted more toward breakout prone skin, or things that are more mattifying or this or that, can look like a heavy freaking mask. So the idea that matte is always what's better and that you should stay away from shimmer and stuff when you have pores, totally. I'm gonna just kind of show you guys all of my theory, all of my feelings on that, and the foundation that has like so much coverage, and that really lasts and that really sets. You can make it look like petal soft, natural, glowy, dewy, and your under eye area will look like porcelain. So I'm gonna show you this trick, but I'm gonna take you through the entire makeup routine, and it's just, I think, a very simple routine, but it's using a lot of tips that I think you can take with you for like different looks and kind of change the way you do your makeup. This is the foundation for like the way that I always do my makeup. Like whether I use certain different foundations or different products, I always use these techniques, and it really, really helps, and it will make you look so young. So don't think that you have to have perfect porcelain skin or whatever, because when I have fine lines, okay? I show up more like, but yeah, I do. And it's like, my makeup will settle. So yeah, you do have to kind of learn different little ways to do it. Okay, so that's what the video is about. Before we get started, I will show you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my little pearl earrings, this lovely necklace from Bauble Bar, which I probably showed in a haul maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I don't remember. I've had it for a long time. I feel like I've had these for a long time, these lariat type. They're really pretty. They're kind of like velvety, and this one is pretty because it's a choker. It looks like it ties, but this is a piece that like ties in the back, and then this is like 2 long pieces that hang down, and then they're kind of weighted because there's little tassels, so you can tuck it in like I usually like to do, or you can leave it out, but I like to wear it like this. I think it's really pretty with a top like this. This is my very favorite flannel that I got months and months back, that I just have raved over so much, and I need to get some more colors. But you guys may remember even last year, like when I bought the one from Target from the men's section that was really thick and it looked exactly like this. That's just it. It's thick, so I can't wear it until it gets like really wintry, and a lot of times I didn't wear it a lot because it would just like, it was pretty hot, but I love the look of it. So when I saw this one, I bought this one like during the summer. I snatched it up because it is kind of like, it's very cozy, it's very soft, but it's thin, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. But it's just, you guys know it's become my favorite top, and I just think it looks good with everything. And then I'm wearing it with my Lululemon black leggings, which are just wonderful, life-changing, good outfit leggings. They never fade, they feel like butter. The material is really good. It's not just like typical cottony material that's gonna look like pilled or faded. So I'll link to everything like that below. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this, because I want to really get into the tutorial and share with you guys all my little tricks for looking younger, for doing your makeup in a way that makes you look younger. So keep watching. Not all of us can wear a lot of the foundations that might be like geared more towards like a natural look or something that's a little glowier, because either, they're just not suited for your skin type, or you just need more coverage. And some of those don't have a lot of coverage, I found. So, okay, you guys remember years ago when I did the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus videos? This is the same type of deal. That was the most like matte foundation, but I could get the most natural, like petal, beautiful finish with it based on how I applied it. So I think I'm gonna get some more of that at some point soon, but I've been using this, and it's the Clinique Acne Solutions Liquid Makeup, and it really reminds me a lot of it. And I picked it up because I love this so much, the Acne Solutions BB Cream. And this one has the most natural, beautiful finish, so much coverage, thin, like light as air. But the color, like the lightest color is a hair too dark for me. So I tried this, and it's very similar, like it smells the same, but it is thicker and it has a much more matte finish. So you could look really scary with this if you aren't careful. But as always, if you're going to use a product like this, which I honestly really like it, I think it really, I mean, I'm not kidding, I don't have to touch up throughout the day. It has amazing coverage. It smells exactly like the BB cream, which is kind of weird. It's like that weird, like alcohol-y licorice smell, but it doesn't dry my skin out or anything. What's my hair doing? Just kind of put it up. The key is for me to use a beauty blender with it, and I use the lightest shade. I use Fresh Alabaster. Just do yourself a favor, buy a beauty blender, like a real one, because nothing else compares, like it really doesn't. Get a dampened beauty blender and apply it with that, and it just makes a world of difference. It looks like actual skin, like it doesn't look heavy or anything. So that's a trick. If you're, this isn't like the main trick of the video, but it's kind of like the basis. I'll say though, mainly you can use any foundation you want. Like if you feel like this is good for your skin, but you're like, oh, it looks too heavy and I want more of like a natural look, just do it this way and it'll be fine. So good. Okay, so I'm just dealing with like a lot of redness, and I think this is good for my skin type, which is very breakout prone, although I'm not like breaking out a lot right now. It's just really good. So use a good primer if you are into primers, or make sure your skin's really moisturized. And I say, like, if you're into primers, I think we're all into like what primers do, which is make your skin look good. You do not need a primer for that. I'm all about using as little product as possible. I don't like to use a moisturizer, a primer, a thick sunscreen, a makeup. I like to use things that kind of have all in one, you know what I mean? I think you should do all those things, but I think you should kind of, you know, put them all together. Like, you can kind of like double them up. I like to use a moisturizer that doubles as a primer, and I would use some that were like gels and stuff like that. But this honestly is like if you mix the best primer on earth with the best moisturizer, and it's the Clinique Moisture Surge Intense. It's the one that says Intense. It's not the original Moisture Surge. It's the one that says Moisture Surge Intense. So it is like, it's not as clear as the other one. It's more of like a creamy gel, and it makes your skin look and feel like a rose petal, like velvet. You know what I mean? And it is so good, and your makeup will just slip right on over it. If you have like any, I get dry right here, and if it feels dry and I put that on, it just feels so good. You don't need to use like all these like really glowy, you know, crazy foundations if you don't want to, or if your skin can't take it. But I really love the Shanakai Future Skin foundation, although it's very expensive. That's a really natural one too, but I find a lot of times the ones that are more matte and finish have better coverage and it just look better, but you get my drift. My whole point here is to show you the makeup, but I'm just gonna like quickly do my eyes. I'm just gonna do like a really basic look. I'm just using the Tom Ford palette, the Autumn Winter 16 one, and I'm just using the light shade with a fluffy brush. And it's beautiful because it's like a little bit frosted, but it's not like super matte. It's not super frosted, which I think if you go too matte or too frosted, it can age you. Like matte colors too. These Estee Edit pencils are so good. They're made for your, I think they're made for your waterline too. But this is what I like to do with it. I just kind of use it on the upper, and it's so soft that it just melts into your lash line like no other pencil liner has ever done before that I've ever tried. And the thing is like even if you get one that's very soft, they just kind of blend away, you know. And see, like I'm being kind of messy with it. But I'll show you what I do. Like, see, there's like no gaps. It goes right into all of your lashes. It's so perfect. This is the color Bold Bordeaux. And then this one is the other side of that one. And I like to put it just like right there. Yeah, I like to keep it light on my lower lash line. I just think that's what looks best for me. I'm just not a fan. This is a Sigma E30, and I just kind of smudge it But see, it doesn't like wipe off the color, which, so it's kind of unreal. Like it just softens the edge of it. And I'm using my Chanel. That's not really like what this is about. Like I'm just kind of doing a quick eye look so I can like get on with what I'm gonna actually, like the topic of what I'm showing you guys. But just a very easy eye look, so I guess that's good too. A little twofer. Yeah, I finally ran completely out of my little Makeup Forever one. My little brow pencil, but I've been using this one. It's the #2. It's the wide Benefit one. They make a skinny one too that's just like the Brow Wiz. But they, well, this one's broken. What is it doing? Okay, never mind. It's not broken. It was just like going back in really weird. I think my Makeup Forever one, which, this is funny, I just remembered that I love so much. It was actually broken when I first got it. The whole thing fell out, but I kept using it, and I guess it just kind of worked its way back together. But it's always been fine. Because I'm like, because it never like broke off when I got to the end. It was like actually the end. So it must have like meshed itself back together somehow. Okay, but this one's good. The #2 shade is a good tone for me. I didn't know you were gonna get like a whole makeup tutorial. I didn't think that's what I was gonna do. But I hate just doing like 2-second videos. I mean, I know that's fun sometimes, but I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a waste. It's like all those little, you know, 2-second Instagram things. That's cool for like Instagram. But it's like if you're gonna like watch a YouTube video, don't you want to like talk to the person? Like, you know what I mean? Like talk, like we're talking to each other, but even if you feel me. Okay, I feel like I'm going overboard. I feel like I need to just stop, but this is pretty, like I feel like this one gets really dark, but I think it's kind of pretty today. We'll just have really dark brows and just see what happens. Use the brow gel. I actually really love this brow gel. It's like very, very good. The Benefit one, the clear, it holds really, really nicely, and I actually really love the wand. I like the look of soft brows, and this one doesn't make them look like gelled or gross, but I have to gel my brows because they're unruly. With your under eye concealer, I think this is the area that can make your whole look, it can make or break it. Like it can make you look really old, it can make the whole finish look bad if it's chalky or if it's gross. So I know people say like, oh, well, all these baking techniques and this and that's only for people with like perfect line-free skin. And you look at me and you think your skin's good. My skin is good, I'm not saying that, but I do have fine lines. And if I don't wear any makeup, you would never see it. But that's the thing. Sometimes makeup really accentuates flaws. So you have to apply it in a good way. But then I like to apply a little bit of it because it corrects, you know, the darkness, and it does make it look better if you do it right. So I have found 3 products that work really well. I'm sure there's so many other ones, but I'm just saying for me, these work really, really well. I've had like horrible times with certain ones, but I always go back to the MAC Prep and Prime. They come in so many different shades now, and I use the pink one, the Radiant Rose. It's just brightening, and it's not super pink. It's just beautiful, but it has a lot of coverage. It sets, but it just looks like skin. It never settles in my lines or looks chalky. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser, I love this, and I use this one in the pink shade too, the one called Brightener Illuminator. It doesn't have any, don't like the illuminating scare you. It doesn't have any shimmer in it or anything, which I don't really like that under my eyes. But this one is a new one that I've discovered too, so we'll try this one, and it's the Smashbox Studio Skin. And like, look, it is so, okay, this is what I do. That's really, I mean, I wipe it off a little, so it is really thin. Okay, I do it kind of in that little, sometimes, you know, I'll sweep it down a little bit. I don't want to apply way too much. And then I use my same beauty blender, and I use the end of it, and I just press it in, and you can see how kind of like I pull it in like that. Now this Smashbox it's really good. Like it reminds me so much of the MAC one but this has a little better, it has better coverage. And I like that, you know, it comes in tones that are more like skin tones, which the MAC one does too, but I haven't really like played around with a lot of the new ones. Do you see how pretty that is? So the trick is like, you think, well, if it could just stay that way, you know? Now, people sometimes swear by like using setting powders, and I used to always use that Laura Mercier, the Secret Brightening. Do you remember the Benefit Powder Flage? Like way before like all that, Benefit had the powder flage, and I just wish they still had that. Now, I think it's so crazy that they got rid of that. But that was like one of my favorites. But yeah, sometimes I'll apply just a little bit more right there, because that little line sometimes can look a little off. So, okay. And I'll be honest with you, if you use a beauty blender, it kind of blots away a lot of it, so you're not like, you don't have a lot of excess makeup like piled up on your skin. But I don't like to really set the under eye area like really crazy. I use my ethereal light, and I use this brush by Sigma, which is the baking brush. It's their little Bake Kabuki, the F89, and it's flat, and I just kind of wiggle it in there, and I press it just right there. And it just kind of like blurs that little line, but it just kind of keeps that area pretty. And this isn't super matte, and it's not like shimmery or anything. It's just that beautiful, perfect, like satiny, like skin tone look. Okay, now this is the big trick with your under eye area. You can use a setting spray. I've still got to do like bronzer and my blush and stuff, but at this point I like to use a setting spray either on a brush or on my beauty blender. Lately I've just been using my beauty blender. If you do this to your concealer right after you apply it, it will not crease. So I just kind of lightly spray it. My beauty blender is already a little damp, and right here in this area where, not where I put the powder right there, but right here where you look kind of, you know, where it can get a little, I just blot over it, and it's like it sets it. Now you could spray it on your face, but I'm not really at that point yet. Like I don't really want to do that. And I feel like you don't get it like even. You couldn't get it like evenly on that area. If you apply it onto something, you can just really get it super even. You can even just kind of like, it just really works. I've even used this little Kabuki brush, this Makeup Forever one. You can just kind of spray it and just kind of lay it on there, and that works too. So I love that trick. It feels kind of cold right now, and when it sets, you can really feel it setting. So that's kind of cool without applying any like powder or anything. So this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and this is my holy grail spray, makeup spray. And it's not like a face, I mean, you could use it as a face refresher during the day, but if you want one that actually sets makeup, that actually works for setting makeup, then this is that. Not one that I would like put in my purse to, I think that's a little different. And then quickly for bronzer, you know, people always say like, you know, use a matte product to conceal your pores. You know, frost or shimmer really accentuates your pores. Heavy frost does. But if, like I've been saying all this time, if you use like a satiny product, that's gonna match your skin better than, like your natural skin texture, better than a super chalky, like matte. Think of the difference between a very matte foundation, like for example, this one, the Acne Solutions that I used. If I would have used that with a brush with my fingertips, it would have been so matte. I'm telling you, this just changes everything. It makes everything just look beautiful and just so natural. So think the difference between like a really thick matte foundation and then one that's a little more of like a natural finish, you know, or one that's a little more glowy. It just makes your skin look better if it has a little bit of a glow. So I don't understand why people are still kind of hung up on, you know, you have to use a matte bronzer and all this. I personally think it's so much better to use one that has a tad bit of shimmer, a little bit of a sheen, I guess I should say. Not any chunkiness or anything. When you like, okay, for example, like the NARS Laguna, when you look at it, you can't really see a lot of shimmer. If you swatch it, you know what I think it is? I think when you very first get it, it has that layer, but then if you actually use it, like if you're actually a person that like use it, it kind of goes away. Like I can't detect any shimmer anymore. But it's a very like natural finish. So when you swatch some things like the Hourglass, that's not what it is, the Hourglass bronzers, when you swatch these, this is the one that's the Luminous Bronze Light, they can be pretty shimmery, but when you put them on your skin, they're not. I really love this one too. I think the new one that's in the Surreal palette, the Surreal one, is really, really beautiful. It's much less, I mean, it's not orangey at all. So for me, I would much rather use one that's like that. And then I kind of do that after my, you can do it before or after your concealer, but I always do it after. So I've, you know, it's already set. Like I wouldn't do this right when I felt like that was still wet, like from the spray. But if you use the beauty blender with it, it doesn't really feel like super heavy. So I just kind of like go around pretty lightly with this. Do just a little on your nose. It's just natural. There's absolutely like no shimmer. Like it just looks pretty. Like if I were to use one that was really matte, I feel like it would just look really chalky, you know? For my blush, I'm using my Chanel jersey, which I've just been like obsessed with. And that was, I mean, a lot of times I wouldn't be, I've either been doing just bronzer or just blush, which is kind of funny. But I'm gonna do both just to show you. And again, I always think that the most natural, like, finishing touch is a good highlight. And I'm just gonna use this, my old favorite, my Laura Mercier. And I'm telling you, that makes such a difference. See, like that little bit of shimmer just makes it look like real skin. It's just so good. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. Did a little bit of this Too Faced Angel the lip injection gloss, which I really like. I still think those are just a little intense. Like they're very, like they burn a little bit. Just kind of mix that with the gloss. This is the Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. At the very end of all that, you can use more spray, but honestly, like I felt the need to set nothing other than right here, and it's not because I was setting, it's because I think it just looks better with the finish right there. This ethereal light is just amazing. It just kind of blurs that little line. I get that, see how you can still kind of see, but I just think it looks so pretty, but it doesn't look powdery. I didn't like cake it on, I just kind of pressed it in just very lightly, you know, it's a pressed powder, not much comes off on that brush. But I'm telling you guys, it's just, these are just my best tricks for looking young and for doing your makeup in a way that's super, super flattering. And then at the end, I mean, you can do this, but like I said, I just don't feel the need to. The only place I ever feel the need to is right here. I won't use any powder throughout the day, and it's just good, but I'll still use that, and I'll tell you why this is so good. I'm glad I did that because I remembered my favorite thing about this. Obviously the formula does something. It's working. It's not just like water or something just stupid. This has the most fine spray. Like when you spray it, you can feel it just cover every little speck of your face. So good. It's like such a fine mist that you really feel like it's working. Those are my tricks for looking young, for taking your makeup products and, you know, doing more with them. I've showed you guys that for years, that you can, you know, really make your more matte foundations look good and natural. But I really hope that you'll try out that trick with your under eye concealer because it really makes a world of difference. So thank you guys so much. And this kind of turned into a whole full little thing. But I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today. I sure did. I'll link to everything that I can below. I'm like overwhelmed. I need to clean this all up. Anytime I do a makeup tutorial, it's just like, So thank you guys for watching. Love you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.